Okay, so today we're going to be talking about a trade that I made last week on June 8th. It is a Thursday. This bar right here is June 8th. This bar right here is June 9th. That red bar was my stop loss, and I did get out of the trade actually at the lowest point that it traded on Friday. So, real quick summary of this trade. I think I might have set my stop loss a little bit too high. Originally it was at 23.86, or 82, sorry. But I moved it up, and it ended up getting me out of the trade because I was trying to be too protective, I guess you could say. Now let's go ahead and turn this to the mm, 1 hour chart, and let's digress and see what we can learn there. Notice what I did with this RSI line. Notice how it behaved in the next slide as well. And again, I'm gonna point something out just real quick, so everybody's on the same page. Rejection here, rejection there. Rejection here, rejection there, rejection, rejection. And when I say rejection, that's rejection to move higher. See, none of these is trying to hit this line. Never moves higher. Never breaks above 61.8 on any of these moves. Note that this is 61.59. Never breaks above 61.8. Same thing right here. Anyways, I'm going to establish this trend line. Notice how it plays out in the upcoming chart that we see. I'm also going to point out, just to show you that I know what I'm talking about here. If you were to have this cross right here on the RSI, if you were to get in right here, you would have gotten in for this huge, massive run. That's a $6 run. That's at least, that's approaching 20-30%. So if you were to get all of it in, that's just a simple RSI cross. And look, it even makes this line more significant right here. It tests that line, boom, boom, testing it. Here we finally break down. That gets you out right around this date right here. So I do know what I'm talking about. And then again, look, so I got in on the 8th, and we can see the 9th now. I'm getting rejection at the RSI line. Now, see here we have uniform action to retest that line. This action that you're seeing right here with this purple, that was after we've broken down above it. I'm sorry, below it. We broke down below it right here. You see on this day right here, we have uniform action to retest that RSI 60 line, and we get rejected. So, now it looks like same thing might be happening on the 9th here. Maybe not. Maybe just going to catch a little bit more support on Monday and really power through. And if that does, then hopefully we see some volume. We see some volume on this day right here. That is the day that I bought in. I did buy in the morning, the first 30 minutes. So let's go ahead and look at the 1 hour chart. So get the breakout here. This is the 7th and the 6th that we're seeing right here. I get in right here. So the 7th ended on this day right here. It closed at 24.37 that day. I put a buy order in once it crossed that mark with heavy volume on the 8th, and which it did, relative to the amount of time that had passed. I mean, not as much volume as you're seeing here, but this is the volume bar that I got in on, and it filled out 24.40 or so. So as you can see, we closed the day around here maybe for the 8th, and we opened up into this noise right here. Sorry, no, we closed right here on the 8th. I apologize. And this is what we're seeing on the 9th. I had moved my stop loss up to 24.10. Saw I was testing 24.11, moved it down to 24.08, and the bottom that it hit of the day was 24.08. So maybe I should think a little bit more about my stop losses instead of just kind of throwing them where I want, because they got me out of the trade. This could move higher on Monday, and I just paid money to get in and get out and lose 1%. I mean, it's 1% from here to here. So not a good trade. Execution wise, the idea was there, but I need to do better. I will note just real quick, this bar right here, I don't have too much to say about it. You could maybe through condensing these bars, maybe get a shooting candle going on here, and that was maybe a turnaround signal. I'm not sure. You can definitely see exhaustion of buyers here, I would say, at the end of the day. Buyers took it all the way up, and we closed down after going all the way up. Then another down bar. Again, exhaustion of buyers. Indecision in the market, exhaustion of buyers. So I think that's what we're seeing there. However, I think one thing to note is I have seen charts oscillate before. Just like a sine wave, just that 60 hertz cycle. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't think I should have gotten out of this trade quite yet. I think 1.25% is more acceptable stop loss. Where I had it down here really is really where it should have been. So we will see. I do want to point out, though, this RSI line, again, we're testing with rejection, testing again with rejection, not even coming up close to it this time. So, look at this nice consolidation we're having here. This just shows that it is indeed, I'm going to say, maybe this is a bold assumption. This looks like a wedge on the smaller time frame itself right there. But you can just see the consolidation right here and the explosive breakout. I mean, to say that this is not a good buy signal with the RSI doing what it's doing here, if you were to buy at the RSI 61.8 level, I mean, you're getting in around here. And I mean, the MACD is kind of helping you out there. MACD histogram gave you, the earliest signs, I guess, if you really believe in that stuff. But I mean, that's not a bad. You got two entry points right there. So the volume is not really there. So I wouldn't enter at that point. I'm just pointing these things out. But if you were to enter, once we got the first volume bar, I mean, you could have gotten this action in. I don't know. So we'll see. But this is just some thoughts I had, and I don't know if my lack of thought, lack of judgment was here, if I made the right call. So we will see in the upcoming week. Thanks for listening.